Guys, I'm going to give a special shout out to my friend Elissa Deeds for presenting this story. Now, Elissa Deeds sends me stories all the time, so don't be surprised when I talk about a story that she sent me. She does an amazing job. This story coming out of Florida. And just when you think you've heard it all, this actually does involve a child, an unborn child, believe it or not. With this story, it's going to have some details that are probably not going to sit well with your sensibilities. So let me give you a forewarning about my type of content before we get started. I don't know if it's going to work. Don't look like it is. But some viewers may find the following content controversial or offensive. The information coming from this video comes from multiple sources, including court records, official police charges, news web articles, and interviews. This video commentary also contains my personal opinions about the facts of this story. The point is to use that as a cautionary tale in hopes of preventing these tragedies, especially the children. Viewer discretion is advised, and that is your official disclaimer. Since my video didn't seem to want to work. Florida. And I'm getting this story from illicitdeeds.com, so thank you for the article. A Florida woman accused of murder after allegedly opening fire during an argument inside a packed Uber should be freed from jail because her unborn child, she was pregnant, she should be freed from jail after being accused of murder because her unborn child has not been charged with any crime and is being held unlawfully, according to her attorney. Just when you've heard it all, let me explain the scenario. We'll tell most of the story. They were in an Uber, got to an argument. She took her gun and shot somebody. She got arrested because she shot somebody. And isn't this a little bit of babies for benefits? Can we get a hashtag babies for benefits for a moment? I think this would count. Because I don't think she loves this child. Because she literally did something flat out dumb and stupid and is now trying to use her child as a scapegoat. I think that's babies for benefits. Natalia Harrell has remained in the custody of Turner Guilford Night Correctional Center since July 26 of 2022, when she was ordered to be held without bail for second-degree murder in the July 23rd shooting of Gladys Yvette Borcella, records show. The fatal spat was actually caught on video, so I'm going to warn you guys. Some of that video you're going to see, you're not going to see too much detail, but you're going to at least see kind of what led up to it. So I'm going to make sure and show that video here also. The spat was caught on video and showed several people inside the rideshare vehicle as the pair began arguing and Harrell opened fire, allegedly. Let me say this. She shot what looked like to be her friend, her counterpart, another black woman. The woman on the right-hand side of the screen, I'm just assuming that she's black. I don't know that for a fact, but she looked black to me. She looks like a black lady. Months later, Harrell's attorney, William M. Norris, is arguing that his client's unborn child and Harrell should be immediately released from jail because the fetus has not been charged with a criminal offense. Where is the accountability? Have y'all ever heard of anything like that? You know what? I know they got to be paying these attorneys some high dollar money. They got to be paying them like Johnny Cochran dollars. Because that's a hell of an argument to make. That's something I wouldn't even think to make as an argument. Because she's pregnant. But here's the thing that maybe they would challenge in the prosecution and say, well, especially because she was pregnant, maybe her ass shouldn't have been doing this type of action, getting crunk, getting turned up, and pulling out a gun and fighting with another female, knowing that you're pregnant. Let me call something out. This past 10 years, 5-10 years, I have never seen so many female fights in my life. Captured on video to the point where YouTube and other social media platforms literally just said, you know what? If y'all put out If y'all put out y'all content creators, if y'all post any videos of anybody fighting, we're just going to take all the fight videos down so they can't be seen. That doesn't mean they're not happening. They're just not showing them. So we can't keep an accurate account and we can't know what's actually going on because they're being hidden. Now, I'm not saying that some of this violence should be just posted everywhere and shared everywhere and laughed at and think that it's okay. I'm not saying that at all. I do think there needs to be a level of discretion. But at the same time, I do think it's weird that we have so many women. Like, you would think, like, women need to be protected. Women are mothers. Women should be held in high regard, thought of in this awesome way. But then they treat each other like this. In general, hashtag not all. Now, I'm from the black community, okay? And I'm very used to seeing black women fighting each other like this indiscriminately. They will pick up knives. They will pick up anything that they can. And you know what? I can even tell a personal story about a friend of mine. I just pray that she's not watching the show. I remember a long time ago, I watched this woman pick up a flagpole and beat an individual with a flagpole. Now, that individual turned out to be okay, but I'm just throwing it out there. I've seen a lot of crazy stuff. the United States of America flag. This individual got beat with it. But anyway, let's keep going with this story. I just thought that was really, really amazing to call out how you don't want people to castigate you and say negative things about you and say that your behavior is bad. But it's okay for you to go fight each other and kill each other, though? Really? Interesting. A petition for a habeas corpus was filed against the Miami-Dade Corrections and Rehabilitation Department and its director. As of Thursday's habeas corpus filing, Harold was 8 months pregnant, but Harold has not been receiving adequate prenatal care or nutrition and has not been examined by an outside doctor since October, her attorney wrote. Norris, and I can almost guarantee you she probably wasn't getting prenatal care before this anyway. Norris further argues that Harold and her unborn child are being held in a cell block or pod where violent criminals are housed with them, including inmates who are housed in a pod because they have been disciplined or under investigation for fighting or committing crimes or a violation of prison rules. Did you guys catch that? He's arguing that she's in there with other people who behave just like her. How effing ironic is that? Unborn child's constitutionally protected due process rights have been clearly violated, the filing states. Absent immediate release of unborn child from the respondents, unborn child will be likely brought into this world on a concrete floor of a prison cell, without the aid of qualified medical physicians and paramedics and in the presence of violent criminals. Yes, that's the way it works. When you choose to be a mother, you choose to receive a seed, you choose to go through it with a pregnancy, and you choose to do stupid shit. That's the consequence. That's what prison and that's what jail is. Mark Shiner, a longtime Florida-based criminal defense attorney, told Fox News Digital a habeas corpus proceeding is basically saying, you're holding my client illegally. That's a short form of it. He described how Florida and federal law dictate that unborn fetuses should be recognized as legal victims when impacted in the commission of several different types of crimes even before trial. We do recognize in many situations unborn fetuses as a victim, Shiner said. So they're a victim for criminal purposes. Why are they not a criminal for penalty purposes? For penal purposes, when locking up the mother who has not even been found guilty, she's presumed innocent. Harold was 6 weeks pregnant July 23rd of 2022 when she shot 28-year-old Borcella inside a Uber near Southeast First Avenue and First Street in Miami, according to court papers, officials said. Video from inside the rideshare vehicle shows the pair arguing in the back seat before Harold moves towards the front and reaches for something in her purse. And thank God for cameras. If we didn't have cameras, I don't know what we would be in this world now. But I'm very, very thankful that there are cameras. So shout out to the cameras. The cameras, y'all are doing a great job out there. She turns towards the victim, and the pair continue to exchange words as Harold's hand remains in her purse. A man seated in the front passenger seat grabs her forearm and repeatedly tells her, "Don't do that." What else is he supposed to do? "Get off my hand," she tells him. "Can you let me go?" The vehicle is in motion throughout the argument. So if a woman tells a man to physically release her, that's exactly what he has to do, right? Or he could get in trouble, right? Harold and Borcella continue to exchange words for over a minute, and Harold frees her hand. Borcella appears to lunge forward and extend her hand towards Harold, so it looks like they were about to have a fisticuffs, a fist fight. So instead of having a fist fight, this woman decides to point the gun and fire the gun. Borcella, who was reportedly a mother of 3, was struck once in the chest and could not be saved. Let's pause it right the hell right there. Why are we worried about this woman's unborn child when she didn't give a damn about getting into an argument, getting into a fight, potentially getting into a fist fight, and then pulling out a gun, knowing what that was going to lead to? It could lead to the death of a black woman and a mother. She didn't care about that. But she wants to be let out of jail of her unborn baby, y'all. Feel sorry for the unborn baby, y'all. And you out here shooting people, ma'am, over arguments. On the flip side, to the victim, and I know the family might not like me saying this, but I'm going to say it anyway. How dumb is the woman on the right-hand side of the screen, the victim, where you would argue with this woman who, like if you look in this woman's eyes, she looks slow. She looks slower than a bottle of molasses. She looks slower than global warming. I don't care what y'all were arguing over. If you know that you're a mother of 3 and you got to get home to your kids, what are you arguing over? Like, was it that serious? And this is stuff I try to tell people all the time. The stuff that y'all argue over is trivial. It's stupid. It's not worth fighting over. It's not worth dying over. It's not worth getting your blood pressure up over. But apparently, she didn't value her children enough not to argue with idiots and not to fight with idiots. Because it looked like she was ready to get about it and have a fisticuffs. So did she really care about her children? I don't know. It don't appear so. Harold was charged with second-degree murder. Her attorney argues Harold shot Borcella after the victim continued to threaten her and attempted to assault her. Either she got assaulted or she attempted to. I think you should clarify the difference. In response to Norris's argument in the habeas corpus filing, Miami-Dade Corrections and Rehabilitation Center Director James Reyes, who's named in the filing, responded to Harold's first pregnancy test in the jail's custody. July 26 of 2022 was negative. He said Harold ultimately tested positive on August the 12th. Reyes in the state noted that the filing should be dropped altogether because it's missing key records. Harold weighed 106 pounds on August the 22nd of 2022 compared to the 140 pounds she weighed on February 16th of 2023, the response states. And she has a history of declining or refusing her own medical treatment, Reyes wrote. Petitioner had been taken to at least four obstetricians, I cannot say that word, obstetrician appointments outside of the jail and notably refused to attend a fifth, the report states, or the response states. Harold has been offered prenatal vitamins on a daily basis for months. She has refused prenatal vitamins on more than one occasion as recently as January 16th of 2023 and has refused to allow nurses and medical providers to measure the fetal heart rate. She has had at least 11 medical visits since August of 2022, the response states. Her last appointment was inside the jail on February 17th. Reyes' attorneys wrote that Harold would be transferred to an infirmary once she reaches 36 weeks pregnant and would be taken to the hospital to deliver the baby. The state wrote that Harold's past motions include only sparse details regarding alleged medical mistreatment. The state argued that the petition for habeas corpus should be dismissed because it is not available as a substitute for other legal proceedings. Damn, there's a lot of information. I'm going to read out the last two paragraphs. Petitioner neither claims that the mother's arrest was illegal, challenges the trial court's findings of probable cause, nor does petitioner assert that there has been a wrongful denial of bail, the state wrote in its response. Instead, her claim solely relates to the alleged inadequacy of medical and prenatal care. As the claim has no legal bearing on the lawfulness of the petitioner's detention, habeas corpus is not a proper vehicle for the petitioner's claim. Of course, we all agree to that. Somebody in the chat said that if she refuses prenatal care, she should be charged with child neglect. I agree. Totally agree with you. Thank you for posting that in there. Lorna Parra, who is a spokesperson for the Miami-Dade County Mayor Daniela Levine Cava, told Fox News Digital the County Corrections Department partners with Jackson Health System to provide health care to the inmates in our custody, and we are committed to ensuring all inmates receive professional, timely medical care and all appropriate treatment. She added, we are conducting a full review of the health services offered to ensure that all prenatal care being provided in our custody is appropriate. But let me tell y'all what I know about jackasses. Here's what I know. I can guarantee you that this woman is just flat out being difficult just because she can at this point, even at the behest of her own child. And that's the scary thing about individuals like this who become parents, especially in single parent households. And this is the type of behavior that these children have to grow up and see that they're subjected to. And you wonder why there's so much violence in these single parent households. Let me give you guys the fair usage. Let's get it. And the fair usage is not working either. So give me a second. See if this will work. Federal law allows citizens to reproduce, distribute, or exhibit portions of copyrighted motion pictures, videotapes, or video discs under certain circumstances without the authorization of the copyright holder. This is called fair use. It is allowed for purposes of criticism, news reporting, teaching, and parody, which doesn't infringe of copyright under 17 U.S.C. 107. All right, guys, if y'all would, do me a favor and click that thumbs up and share this video and let more people know that we're talking about this story, okay? All right, here we go. Got to improvise a little bit.
Miss Harrell has been accused. There's no question about the accusation. She's been denied bond. There's no question about that.
The question attorney William Norris is raising is whether the unborn child of inmate Natalia Harrell, who's charged with second-degree murder, should remain in jail with its mother. It's an unusual and unprecedented stand, but Norris, who represents the unborn child, says it's a fair one.
An unborn child is a person. The person has constitutional rights, and one of them is the right not to be deprived of liberty without due process of law.
Norris filed a petition claiming the child should be released, that the mother hasn't received adequate medical care, and that she hasn't been seen by an OBGYN since October. The petition states the unborn child seeks immediate release from custody to receive necessary immediate medical care and to be free from unlawful and illegal detention.
I'm asserting a right of someone who is a person who has not been considered in the decision to incarcerate his mother.
Harold, now 8 months pregnant, was 6 weeks along when she was arrested in July. Her attorney hoping to get her released on bond for 6 months. She's charged with shooting and killing Gladys Borcella during an argument in an Uber.
Let my hands go, bro.
Video from inside the van shows the two women who knew each other arguing. We paused it right before the victim was hit. Harold's defense attorney, Andre Rouvier, says his client was standing her ground. She pleaded not guilty.
She was pregnant. She knew she was pregnant. She was fearful that this woman was going to do something to her. She launched herself towards my client, and my client reacted.
The state fired back, responding that the petition filed on behalf of the unborn child should be dismissed. It also states that claims of Harold not receiving proper medical attention would have to be proven in court. Miami-Dade Corrections also responding, stating Miami-Dade County Corrections and Rehabilitation partners with Jackson Health System to provide health care to the inmates in our custody, and we're committed to ensuring all inmates receive professional, timely medical care and all appropriate treatment. We're conducting a full review of the health services offered and received to ensure that all prenatal care being provided in our custody is appropriate.
Okay, now let me warn you guys, because I just figured it out. This is the video, and I'm sorry I'm having to do this in such a bootleg way. We'll try to make this bigger. But I'm going to warn you guys, you're going to see some of the confrontation here. That's part of fair use, and that's also part of our disclaimer as well. So if you guys need to exit the video now. I'm going to make this bigger on the screen so y'all can see it. Are you ready? Here we go.
Hold on. Touch me. Hold on. Go up there to the front. Hold on. I will air you. Go ahead. Hold on. You want me to air you or what? You want me to air you or what?
Don't do that.
Let me get into the what?
Don't do that.
Let my hand go.
No, it's okay, please.
Get off my hand.
I'm not
Girl,
I'm not trying.
get off me side. I ain't done. I'm done talking. Let's get crazy.
I'm not trying to get aggressive.
Get off my hand.
I'm not trying to get aggressive with you. I just don't want no issue.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay. Okay.
We're literally almost at the house.
Don't ever bring about no buzzer all like that in your life, bro. So, oh God. I'm far from drunk. Okay. I'm far from drunk. Can you let me go, bro? I'm not doing shit. I'm not even doing shit.
So she's begging the man to let her go so she can go ahead and commit this felony. I want y'all to take note of that. What more do you want this man to do? And I want y'all to notice how violent she is. Knowing that she's pregnant. She's getting just as crunk, just as about it.
Oh my God, in your life, bro. So, oh God.
She's pursuing the conflict while pregnant.
I'm far from drunk. Okay. I'm far. Can you let me go, bro? I'm not doing shit. I'm not even doing shit. Let me go. How, Gigi? How? You said what I said. Oh, so you finna leave with these children? Oh, you went up. You went up. Dummy. One. Let my hand go, bro. She want me to talk, but she want to keep right. You're with us. You want to let me talk? I'm not going to argue with her. You want to let me talk? You heard what I said. You want to let me talk? You want to let me talk? Okay. First of all, if when we got outside the club, you were like, oh, you're being a groupie. You're being a groupie. Far from groupie. Stop.
And y'all notice how she finished pushing the dude's hand away, pushing him forward. They're in some type of ride share. I don't know whether it's Uber or Lyft or something like that. Some type of ride share. She finished pushing him forward like, get your hands off me, don't touch me. And legally, there's nothing else he can do. So here's the end result. 2 mothers.
You're being a groupie. You're being a groupie. Far from groupie. Stop. Don't play with me. Acting like I'm me, bitch. You're like, oh, you're being a groupie. You're being a groupie.
I'm going to start it back over from the beginning so y'all can see it. 2 mothers.
Hold on. Touch me. Hold on. Hold on. Go up there to the front. Because I will air this. Go ahead, sorry. You want me to air this or what? You want me to air this or what?
Don't do that.
You want me to do this or what?
Don't do that.
Let my hand go.
No, it's okay, please.
Get off my hand.
I'm not
Girl,
I'm not trying.
get off me side. I ain't done. I'm done talking. Let's get crazy.
I'm not trying to get aggressive.
Get off my hand.
I'm not trying to get aggressive with you. I just don't want no issue.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay. Okay.
We're literally almost at the house.
Don't ever bring about no buzzer all like that in your life, bro. So, oh God. I'm far from drunk. Okay. I'm far from Can you let me go, bro? I'm not doing shit. I'm not even doing shit. Let me go. Hi, Gigi. Hi. You said, what I said? Oh, so you finna leave with these okay. Oh, you with us. You with us. Dummy. One. Go. Let my hand go, bro. She don't want me to talk, but she want to keep right. No, you're with us. You want to let me talk? I'm not going to argue with her. Let me talk. You heard what I said. You want to let me talk? You want to let me talk? Okay. First of all, if somebody got outside the club, you like, oh, you're being a groupie. You're being a groupie. Far from groupie. Oh, stop. Don't ever play with me. Acting like you ever with me. That's
Two mothers. She begged this man to let her go, and when he did, that's what she did to another mother. Isn't that something?
Question posed in a lawsuit recently filed in South Florida.
For the first time, it argues the rights of an unborn child when it comes to the mother being accused of a crime, and only Local 10 has the never-before-seen video that is now at the center of this case. Sanela Sabovic has the exclusive.
A new lawsuit filed in South Florida argues for the rights of an unborn child. No, we aren't talking about the right to choose, rather the rights of an unborn baby in its mother's womb while the mother is incarcerated. The lawsuit was filed by 24-year-old Natalia Harrell. She's a Miami-Dade County Jail inmate. She's asking to be released from jail because the unborn child within her is not charged with any crime. Harrell, however, is facing a second-degree murder charge, and it stems from this incident in an Uber last summer. The Uber driver's security camera captures Harrell in a heated argument with another passenger, Gladys Yvette Borsella. According to the lawsuit, Harrell is pregnant and was in fear for her life, so she fired a single round, killing Borsella. The lawsuit goes on to say that Harrell hasn't had adequate prenatal care and would like to get a bond set in place so that she can be placed under house arrest and only leave her home for medical visits. Her lawyer weighs in.
We've asked for release, and we're looking for the opportunity of the unborn child to be developed and born ultimately in a safe environment, not in the environment that it's in right now, which is dangerous pods within TGK.
Miami-Dade Corrections released a statement saying, quote, Miami-Dade County Corrections and Rehabilitation partners with Jackson Health System to provide health care to the inmates in our custody, and we are committed to ensuring all inmates receive professional, timely medical care and all appropriate treatment. We are conducting a full review of the health services offered and received to ensure that all prenatal care being provided in our custody is appropriate. A bill filed this week in Tallahassee coincidentally addresses similar issues. South Florida State Senator Chevron Jones has sponsored what would be called Ava's Law.
This is about, one, public safety, two, about the safety of the child and the mother who are incarcerated. No matter what they've done, the child deserves to be safe, and the mother deserves to be safe too.
That was Sanela Sabovic. A bond hearing has been set for Harrell. It's scheduled for March 7th.
Let me know what y'all think about that. They're basically saying that, well, their attorneys, I mean, they're on their behalf. I get it. They're going to try to argue as best as they can to try to get their clients off. But what do you guys think about that? Because I think what they did does matter. And somebody in the chat asked, what were they fighting about? The answer is nothing. They were fighting about nothing. That's the answer. There's no excuse for this. It just needs a punishment. And this woman never deserves to be a mother. So when she gives birth to this child, and hopefully they can keep her from harming this child more than she already has, and put this child in a home somewhere where this child can be raised and grow up and become something great. Because I can guarantee y'all that if this would have never have happened, that child would have been under constant duress of its own mother, because she just seems to be an irrational, ill-behaved type person. And when you had this man up there trying to talk some sense in you, talk to you real calmly, tried to calm you down, and literally was preventing you from committing a felony, a crime, and he was like, nope, get your hands off me. I'm about to commit this crime anyway. Flat out punishment, life in prison, no excuses for that. It's caught on video also. But let me know what you guys think, man. What do y'all think about that protection law of the fetus? Like, I don't even like that as an excuse. If you're pregnant, it's your fault. Deal with it. That's what I think. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section. Thank you.